Sup y'all, welcome back, it's me. Adobe recently made some changes to their TOS, and I just kinda wanted to talk about it. If you don't know what Adobe is, I'll just briefly explain. It's a multinational computer software company that specializes in creation and publication software, but I just see it as an editing software for videos, animations, pictures, and movies, and just stuff like that. And so that's your brief explanation. Now back to the TOS, and this is what popped up for people when it was rolled out. We made some changes to the Adobe General Terms of Use regarding the use of software and services, including clarified that we may access your content through both automated and manual methods, such as for content review, sections 2.2 and 4.1, modified our rights to delete content for inactive accounts, section 5.3, and updated the period to resolve disputes informally from 60 to 30 days, section 14.1. I'm mainly going to be looking at the first bullet point, that they can access your content through both automated and manual methods. Also, keep in mind, this isn't going to be like a full breakdown of the TOS. This is just what I understand from it. So if you want a full breakdown from somebody that understands this better, then I implore you to go find them. Our access to your content. We may access, view, or listen to your content defined in section 4.1 through both automated and manual methods, but only in limited ways and only as permitted by law. For example, in order to provide the services and software, we may need to access, view, or listen to your content to A. Respond to feedback or support requests, B. Detect, prevent, or otherwise address fraud, security, legal, or technical issues, and C. Enforce the terms as further set in section 4.1 below. Our automated systems may analyze your content and Creative Cloud customer fonts using techniques such as machine learning in order to improve our services and software and the user experience. Information on how Adobe uses machine learning can be found here. Basically, they're allowed to access whatever content you've made with their services, and it's just kind of odd because it's like, why would they really need access to all of your content? Since I think that if someone is paying for their service, that they're allowed to use it however they want and make whatever they want without, having to let other people see it. Since you don't know what private things someone's used to make with their service. Like maybe it's some home video that someone made using Adobe, or maybe it's something confidential that's not allowed to be viewed by others yet, which I'll get a bit more into later. Adobe mentioned that when analyzing your content, they can use machine learning in order to improve their services, software, and the user experience. And I'm sure this is just a small partial reason as to why they're analyzing all of your content. But since they're going to be using AI most of the time to analyze all the content, that this isn't the case. And I'm not someone that's going to be, oh, AI is the worst thing ever. AI sucks. You should get rid of AI altogether. Since I think AI can be super useful, super helpful. It can make things a lot easier, a lot smoother. But it's just the way that this company is gonna be using it for is just, it makes it suck. Which then takes me to section 4.2, and I know it said 4.1 the changes at the beginning, but 4.1 just goes over what classifies as content, so just videos, audio files, pictures, stuff like that. And I mean, it's on screen, so you can pause it if you want. Licenses to your content. Solely for the purposes of operating or improving these services and software, you grant us a non-exclusive, worldwide, royalty-free, sub-licensable license to use, reproduce, publicly display, distribute, modify, create derivative works based on, publicly perform, and translate the content. For example, we may sublicense or right to the content to our service providers or to other users to allow the services and software to operate as intended, such as enabling you to share photos with others. Separately, section 4.6, feedback, below, covers any feedback that you provide to us. Henceforth, the reason why they're allowed to view all the content that's being made using their services. So they're just stealing all the things other people have made. Like an example would be if you use Adobe Photoshop to make some character, then Adobe can essentially just take this character you made, change it up a bit, make some product off it, and then make money off of basically your work. It's pretty scummy because they're making people agree to this with no opt-out option. Because, if there was an opt-out option, I'm sure people would be more lenient with it since they'd be able to, opt out of it since they'd have a choice. But even if that was a choice, it would be on by default. And now let's say it's some confidential information. Like let's say Disney is using Premiere Pro to edit the next Marvel movie. And no, I have no idea if they do use Premiere Pro or not. Maybe they have their own thing, but got no idea. But Disney's using Premiere Pro to edit the next Marvel movie, like the next Captain America movie. Then Adobe scans it and makes some scene that's very similar to a scene that's in the movie that's not supposed to be known yet. Steve Rogers comes back or whatever. Then Disney sees this, and then what happens? Because they're not just gonna be like, oh yeah, we agreed, it's fine. They're coming after your throat. So what happens when fucking Disney comes knocking at your door, all lawyered up, saying you leaked confidential information? Since they're just not gonna let that slide. So then what are you gonna do, Adobe? Or you're just gonna be like, oh well, they agreed, so it's fine. And then Disney's just going to be like, well, you leaked our confidential information. And knowing Disney, they're not gonna stop until they get what they want. Or let's say it's just some freelancer that works for some other company and then they have some confidential information. then what's going to happen? Because is this person at risk of getting fired for your terms? Or is it going to be something like the company or the individual that this confidential information belonged to, that they're going to go after Adobe just for leaking it out too? Or hell, not even leaking it out. It could just be that they scanned it and they know about it, that they're not supposed to know for either the Disney scenario or just the freelancer scenario. Like how would it work with someone who has confidential information or a company that has confidential information and they're using these services? Like how would that work? I'm genuinely interested in how stuff like that's gonna work. And with these new TOSs, people are canceling their subscriptions, but it's even crazier since Adobe's charging cancellation fees. And since you have to agree to the terms in order to use your account, you can't even cancel your subscription without already agreeing for them to look into whatever content you made using Adobe before. But even when you do cancel, you're still getting charged in order to cancel. Like this person right here, an $80 cancellation fee. It's like if someone wants to cancel something, just let them do it without having to pay. It is such a fucking stupid, scummy model. It's anti-consumer overall, and I'd say it's pretty unethical too. Just having people have to agree to this, so you could just steal whatever you want from them without having to give them anything. But if you want some alternatives to Adobe, I'll just put some on screen right now. You could just screenshot this if you want. But that's more or less it for this. Sorry if I sounded pretty tired. It's because I am, and I kind of want to go to sleep. So that's also why, I'm pretty sure a bunch of my points didn't line up and why I wasn't able to say much about this or really get my thoughts through clearly. But nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time.